Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? It's your boy Dominic Peterson, aka Duck Zone 503, man. And today I'm rolling out my spring football previews, talking linebackers today. And I got two special guests, man. I got Jonathan Charles, my pretty much my co-host at this the spring previews here. And then special guest today, man. I got the GOAT of YouTube, Oregon Duck YouTube, Ryan Winter, Sports Chat 503.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome, welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. Really excited to have you guys on. I got Jonathan Charles from Scoop Duck, man. Jonathan Charles was able to help me get on scoopduck.com as well and help me get started writing, interviewing recruits, stuff like that. So real exciting work. Can't thank Jonathan enough for that. And got my boy Ryan here. Been talking to Ryan, Sports Chat 503. Been talking to him for a while now. Going back, let's say 2018. I started watching his videos in 2017, man. I would watch your videos. When you were at the football games, you would talk on the camera and then film like each play by play, and I would watch that, and I was like so interested, and that's how I kind of fell in love with your channel, what you do. And to be honest, it really motivated me to do what I'm doing today with this Deck Zone channel. And I think I hit you up right before I launched it too, and you wish me luck and all that, so really appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, cheers to you, man. I think it's all great, man. Yeah, Jonathan, we've gone back as well, my man, and even on the Spaces, of course. Represent Spaces. Cheers
Yeah,
to
Twitter
those guys.
Spaces.
Hey, shout out the Oregon Spaces for sure.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Love
But
it,
no,
love it. All right.
I just like to talk about the Ducks. You know how it is. Sports chat. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, man. One of my
I
favorite things to
appreciate
do.
that, though.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Another thing that's a unique connection is that my girlfriend, you taught her.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I see people in strange places. I mean, I'm a golf coach. I'm a high school teacher. I was at the golf course yesterday with my team. A guy walked up. He was like, "Yo, I love what you do on Sports Chat." Blah blah blah. And he gives me the
Yeah.
whole spiel. And then we hooked it up. We got the number. He's at Rose City. I'll be playing golf with him. I mean, it's all about building community. It's like I'm a
Yeah.
regular dude. I'm not. I always look at myself as I'm not a media guy. Like I've told people that for years. Like I'm a teacher. Like this is just for fun. This is just YouTube. This is like it's like whatever. There's no rules to it. Like I'm in a different zone. I really respect what you're trying to do, Dom, by trying to go the route and really take that route and be a journalist. That's what another guy I really like is Max Torres. Shouts out to Max because he's another guy who I remember the first time I talked with him, he's in the J school, and every time I see him, I'm like, I'm so proud of him. I watch all the interviews and I hear him ask the question. I'm like, yes, let's go, Max. And so because it's cool to see these guys progress through the and that's what a teacher likes. That's what it's all about. That's education. Let's go.
Yeah, 100%, man. Can't thank Max Torres enough as well. One of the first people to give me an interview on this channel, actually, and share his story and how he came up. And fun fact about him that I learned is that he also came up through Scoop Duck as well. He wrote for scoopduck.com for a little bit, and now he's the lead editor over the Sports Illustrated Duck Digest. So big congrats to him, man. All right, well, guys, man, let's get into it. Really excited to talk about the linebacker position with you guys, man. This is a big strength of the football team, I feel like. Let's get into it here. April 23rd is the spring game, 1 p.m., free admission with a can donation. They got a can donation going on. The university also announced that there's a no vaccine requirement for outdoor sports venues. So if you're one of those people that were unvaccinated, you're welcome back. So let's pack this thing, man. Let's get it going. Really excited.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, will you be at the spring game?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah.
Dom, you gonna be there?
I'm trying to as well. I got to get my my rides in check, but if I get that in check, I can definitely go for sure.
What's an Uber cost from Portland to Eugene?
Man, that's definitely interesting.
A good way to look at it is there's a bunch of different transportation now. You can take the train.
Right. Yeah. I definitely can get down there. I'm definitely
There
gonna.
are people who are going. There are people who are going for sure.
100%, man.
So I love the spring game. Let's just talk about spring game just for a second.
No, yeah.
Ambiance of the spring game is a great atmosphere. As a season ticket holder, I go to games. I see a lot of the same people, but spring game gives an opportunity to have a different vibe there because there's different people. People can bring like their whole family. They have like families of like 7 there because it's a cheap option. I remember going when I was a little kid, and all you had to do was show your Bimart card. It wasn't even like a donation. It was like brought to you by Bimart. this Oregon spring game, and you just had to go there and show the Bi-Mart card like you're walking into Bi-Mart. So it's
Nice.
kind of cool, yeah. And then just to see the whole progression of the, how they treated the troops and had it, and I loved the jersey swap thing. I thought
Yeah.
that was so cool. And I tried to like videotape a lot of that stuff while it was happening because. I try to just capture. I'm a history teacher, so I'm trying to. It's all a time capsule. The biggest reason why I try to film all that stuff for game day, is just to try to give people that atmosphere of Autzen who don't get a chance to go. I got Duck fans who are from like Singapore, and they're like, "Yo, I love these videos. Thank you so much." I'm like, "Cool, man. Let's do it." I also have choice seats. I mean, I'm right down close to the action.
Yeah.
So the ESPN camera's right in front of me. Why would I not put out a camera? Let's go.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, that's one reason why I really fell in love with your channel, man, is because like doing the play-by-play and like hearing it on the TV, you get the feel of like being in the stadium. It's not like there's no commentary, you're literally right there. So loved
Yeah, well,
it.
there's commentary. The guy who sits behind me talks the whole goddamn game. He yells, "Bad ref!" It's right in my ear at like 100 miles an hour. I mean, I have to wear earphones and
Man, yeah, I saw one of your more popular videos, a drunk fight at that Michigan State game.
Yeah, well, the guy, yeah, oh man, yeah. Yeah, my dad loves
Funny
that one
time.
because I'm like, dude, I say the people, I'm filming, I'm doing the thing, and we're in the front seat, and then the people say, dude, let's go, let's get these guys out of here. I turn around, and the security guard's right there, and I said, and I just looked at the guys like, you're done, dude. And my dad loves that line. My dad, like, shouts out to my dad. My dad is a guy who watches all the sports chat. I actually have joked that I do sports chat just for my dad, like just
Nice.
like talking with him. I used to do it with my good buddy Bo Rollins, who's like my brother. He moved to LeGrand. But, going to the games, too. My dad doesn't go to the games anymore. He had season ticket holder for years. And so it kind of gives him an opportunity to kind of watch it. He'll watch everything. So shouts out to him.
Love it, man. Love it. So yeah, man, getting into the spring game, man. Like you said, it's a real great opportunity for people that don't usually go to the stadium to get in there. Can donation free. Take all the kids. Love it, man. Great experience. Get to see all the players. A lot of players get to play. So yeah, man, love it. Speaking about the linebackers in specific here, man, I think it's real interesting to see how Lapointe and Lanning scheme this defense, to see which players will be at what position. Jonathan, if you want to speak on this a little bit, I haven't been following as much as the spring practice notes as much because I've been on the recruiting interview trail. Do you have anything you can add as far as new players at new positions, new numbers, stuff like that?
Yeah, so Adrian Jackson's moving from outside to inside linebacker. Tosh Lapointe said today, as of March 31st, that Adrian Jackson's going to be playing both inside and outside, just because of his versatility. DJ Johnson is a guy that Tosh Lapointe said today in his interview as well, saying that once he was told that he was going to get the job here at Oregon, that he wanted DJ Johnson as an edge guy, playing DN / outside linebacker. Those are two notable guys. Let's see who else. And then the one of the new freshmen, I forget his name right now.
Harrison Taggart or Devin Jackson.
Yeah, Devin Jackson and Harrison Taggart are here. They just came in for practice number 3. They were not here for practice 1 and 2, but they're here for the rest of spring camp for the linebacker group.
Awesome, man. So Ryan, what do you think about that, man? I love the DJ Johnson move in specific, man. Putting him on defense full time, would love that.
Yeah, I mean he's an absolute stud. I mean since he came to Oregon, he's done everything they've asked of him and more. I think he was the offensive MVP when he played tight end with Tyler Shuck. I think he was his favorite target. He went last year and played both ways. He made huge plays in the Ohio State game. He got a sack and he got a key first down in the last 2 minutes of the game to win the game. Yep. So I was like, this is a guy who's made humongous impact. He calls himself the fastest tight end in the country when he played tight end. He's a big dude, but he's super quick and he's super fast. And I mean, I'm 6'2", 250, so I get on the field and I walk up to a guy. He towers over me with his pads on. So good dude. I've had him on my show numerous times. Quality individual. He's getting married. He's got his whole future ahead of him. I think he's gonna have a very bright future on the next level. He can play, man. It's gonna be fun to watch him on the edge, and I think he'll fill a huge gap from Kayvon.
Yeah, 100%, man. Loved what I seen in that Ohio State game with that game-winning sack. With this linebacker group overall, man, this last season it was hard to. I don't think we got the full potential to see, which just with all the injuries last year. We had Bossa come down from safety, which was a key
Oh
role.
yeah.
Jonathan, have you heard anything with Bossa's name with the linebackers, or is he's at safety again?
Linebackers. So because of his big frame, standing at 6'2.5", 6'3", and then only as a true sophomore right now at 200 some ish pounds. He's gonna fill out pretty good this summer, so I think it's gonna be a good move for him. Some positions that they listed now are the money and jack. It's just a few titles that they give for the linebackers, but each like within each like position they have different responsibilities. And as the money linebacker, they're just blitzing more, hence the name.
Nice,
Yeah, I mean,
awesome, yeah.
I think I think the defense is fairly traditional, even though there's a little wrinkle here and there.
Yeah,
You basically have a guy who's a run stopper and a guy who's there for the passing and they're there to push blitz or
yeah,
whatever. He can do a variety of things. I love the Adrian Jackson move. I think he's an absolute stud. I think the Jeffrey Bossa move was great as well. I got to talk with both those guys at the basketball games, and Bossa, man, is ready to rumble. I really like these guys' energy. I think the key is going to be, of course, Noah Sewell. If you look at the whole roster, I think it's great. Everybody's listed as either an inside backer or an outside backer. He's just listed as linebacker. He's
yeah,
the only one. And I think that's a hilarious kind of homage to him because he's the man, dude. It's going to
yeah.
be the Noah Sewell show all year long. He's so smart. He just plays with reckless abandon, but he's so controlled at the same time. It's just you got to give shouts out to that family because we're blessed to be able to have two of their kids come and represent the U of O out here and do it with such a pride too. I mean, it's amazing to watch him play football. So, and then I think it's going to be absolutely crazy to watch Justin Flo. I think he's going to be
Yeah.
like a guy on a trampoline. He's going to be everywhere. I think he has just got something to prove, and I think he's in a position who could be really an interesting question after the year because if he rolls out with a full year healthy, he's done his eligibility for 3 years. He could technically go to the NFL and
Right.
get a look, and he could be a guy who could be something special at the combine. I mean, he can do some weird, freaky athletic stuff. So I don't think, if he had a full season and really got to prove himself, I don't know if he'd have anything else to prove after 1 year.
100%, man. Easily my favorite part of the team, Noah Sewell and Justin Flo, those two stars. Sewell being the number 4 linebacker in the 2020 class, Flo being number 1 linebacker in the 2020 class. So very highly recruited players in the middle for Oregon there. Flo has been injured the last 2 seasons. So I'm just really excited. I know he's chomping at the bit, really excited. We got to see what he got to do in one game at Fresno State, had 14 total tackles and a forced fumble in his short stint playing. Sewell was an absolute stud once again with 114 total tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception in 2021. So love it, man. Just love it. Mace Funa has always been a favorite for me, has started 20 straight games for Oregon. So that's another guy to mention there. Real strong player there. Swinson, love Braden Swinson, great edge rusher who can create pressure. Was a solid number 2 next to KT. Now he gets his opportunity to step up as long as DJ Johnson, who we just said. Oregon brings back 13 linebackers. If you want to add Bossa, that's 14. They got Flo, Sewell, Swinson, Funa, Adrian Jackson, Trevin May, Keith Brown, Jackson LeDuc, Jabril McNeil, Jaden Navarrete, Jonathan Flo, Terrell Tillman, and Brandon Buckner. So big list there. A lot of guys back. Creates consistency within the group. That's one great thing. That's why I think this is adds another strength to this group is how many guys you get back all together. You're adding 3 new linebackers with this 22 class. You got Devin Jackson. I interviewed him on my channel. He was my first interview, so shout out to Devin Jackson, great guy. Very fast linebacker in the middle there, can run sideline to sideline, runs track as well. You got Harrison Taggart in the middle, really like his physicality, coming from the state of Utah. And then Anthony Jones, coming from Nevada. He was early enrollee, so he's been here. And just gonna be interesting to see who out of those three get the play time with all these returning linebackers. Who do you guys think out of those three? Who do you like? Who would you like to see maybe get some play time out of those guys during the season? I know it's gonna be hard, but me personally, I like Devin Jackson just because of his speed, getting sideline to sideline.
You mean some of the young guys who you think will get some playing time?
Yeah.
I think it'll be tough this year unless there's injuries. I think there's so many guys who can play that position right now, and again, there's variety. They're going to move guys around. The defense always is known to move guys around, if they're one injury, two injuries away from. We saw what happened to the wide receiver position. We saw, I mean, they went from being one of the deepest to literally having walk-ons in the 2 deep. So, I mean, in one season. So, anything can happen, and this is an injury sport, so you always got to be prepared for it, and especially at the middle linebacker. You got some hard hitting stuff going on right there. So, I do like the fact that you have depth this year going into that position, and you have a lot of guys who want to prove something too. I mean, there's guys who on the edge who have some real experience, and you have a guy in the middle who basically is going to just run the show, and that's I think a recipe for success for any college defense.
100%. New defensive coach Tosh Lupoi will be heading those linebackers, so gonna be fun to see what he can do. His Oregon fans have been wanting him, so finally got him. Jackson LeDuc was injured last year. He comes back, so that's something to note there. Really like what I've seen from freshman Keith Brown. Held his own in that Ohio State game. Talking about first game getting in. There you go, getting Ohio State. And and we mentioned Jeffrey Boss as the wild card already. He's there at linebacker, just listed there. So really love it, man.
Well, I would recommend these guys all did interviews today. So like after today's practice, they interviewed a bunch of these linebackers. They interviewed Noah for the first time for like 2 years. I mean, it's because of COVID, because of other sort of stuff. I mean, it's just been a little bit strange or whatever. He's the guy who hasn't really talked that much. So I mean, that he gave up some gems a little bit. But yeah, LeDuc is ready to go. LeDuc was, a guy who was very highly rated with that same group. So a guy people kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. And Jonathan, you can speak on any of this stuff. I mean, I'm trying to just jump in over all this, but dude, I just especially how these guys have translated, because again, you're an expert on recruiting, and I just love like how these guys have translated. Because again, I think a lot of recruiting is a crapshoot. I mean, you never really know, even if it's a 4 or 5 star kid, you never really know if they're going to translate to the next level. And I've just been really proud of how these guys have come in with such high expectations and really showed up.
Yeah, I mean, going to like recruiting, there's a lot of factors like injury, personal stuff going on in their life, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, with LeDuc, he's a guy that the previous staff viewed as highly as Noah and Justin. Jackson is more that like Noah Sewell type. He's just gonna fill the gap and be that run stopper. I do think that injury did hurt him last year, so at least he was able to get a little bit of experience when he came back, and being able to show what he could do in the limited snaps that he played. I forget which game he played in, but he did get a little bit and practiced. But now with him being fully healthy and being able to back up Noah this year, I think that's going to be very it's going to be very important to the linebacker group.
Well, Duke had got COVID at the end. He said that today to James Crepea that.
Oh man!
At the end of the year, that's why he missed the bowl game. He said he got pneumonia and all sorts of stuff. So. Yeah, no, I really like these guys' energy, and that's my main thing about recruiting is, there was a time where, recruiting was kind of more regional. Now you have the internet, you have everything else where, these guys really blow up in high school, man. I mean, you just saw a guy get a huge bag as a junior in high school. Guys haven't played college yet. It's like, wow. I mean, the times have changed. So, but, everybody was getting money here and there, but to now make the situation where you've got these guys chasing the bag in high school, think about how much those recruiting films are worth now. You want to talk about, can I get some edits? Holy moly. Those early film, that huddle stuff, that stuff's now gold. That stuff's worth so much because the better the tape, the better the bag. The bigger the
Yeah.
bag, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
was straight up. So these guys are on a hype train now. And now colleges are really up against it because it's hard to see through the hype of which kid really wants it. I talk daily with our head football coach, and it's all about want. It's about desire. I played football. You gotta get it, man. You gotta want to go. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
guys that don't. And there's a lot of guys who've got great NFL type bodies in high school, and people are like projecting them to be the next big thing, but they never are because they don't have the want factor. And it's hard to put that into some sort of a, equation. All the analytics and everything out there. So it's about how does the kid represent himself on the field. Times get tough, and you got to react. And that's really what playing at the next level is. A lot of these guys dominate in high school. They don't have, any real opponents, especially these big, huge wide receivers. Those films are insane. They're picking the ball up out of the midair, running around the field. People are just chasing them. That's like over and over and over on huddle. It's like, what is that showing? But you go to these camps and you start to see these guys get closer and closer with the defensive backs. Well, you go to the colleges and it's just like the camp, but it's every day.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's interesting with the NIL too. Speaking about that, it's interesting how you're speaking about nowadays. They involve on On3. I just started working with On3. They involve social media as well. They involve social media following. So that's a big thing for these recruits is getting their followers up for that NIL bag as well. So that's another part of it. It's kind of interesting. And man, I'm just getting used to it as well. It's a brand new thing. So
well, but
yeah,
I think you're in a unique spot, and I think this is a cool thing for you right now to be able to kind of continue to branch out. That's why I always promote everybody to get it. Why not? All I want is people talking about the Ducks. I want the brand to be spread as much as possible, and people, if they do it the right way and they really know what they're talking about, all they're going to talk about is just positivity because it's not really been that negative. This has been a good team for a long time. The expectation is this team's going to be really good. I mean, I lived through a time when expectations were not that high. Teams were not that good. Now it's the exact opposite. Now you got high expectations and good teams. These coaches didn't come here just because it's Oregon because they get some good swag. They come here because they think they can win now.
Yep. 100%, man. So speaking about the linebackers again, man, getting back on there. For my projected starters, I got Braden Swinson and Mace Funa on the outside, and then of course Justin Flo and Noah Sewell on the inside. I don't know if you guys want to give any projections at all, Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have the same. Braden Swinson and DJ Johnson on the edge, and
DJ, okay.
And
see, I didn't know DJ was playing defense until when I was writing this, so I think I might switch with DJ for Braden.
He's gonna be a major player. The defense is going to rotate. It's going to adapt. The coolest thing I've heard from the coaches has been they're not coming in with a scheme that's preset. They're going to look at who they have. They're going to mold this thing. This thing is going to evolve. It's going to evolve all the way until the end, and it's going to actually evolve all the way through the season. It's going to take some time for this team to really gel with what this coach really actually wants out of this. The first year is going to be super fun because it's just going to be insane, and there's such unknown to it, but this is a defense I think is going to be really interesting. I think they want to attack. I think if you watch the Georgia defense, the linebackers are always moving, one, and they rarely give up big plays. They don't necessarily gamble. And I think there's a kind of an old school premise to this. Everybody was so shocked when Chip Kelly was doing these plays. He dusted off a 100-year playbook. He was doing the Carlisle Indian playbook from like 07 in 1912 with like Jim Thorpe and stuff, like way back in the day, dude. It was all that kind of offense. They didn't pass the ball. Oregon was second in the country in running. You don't do that, dude. You don't do that unless you're running the ball all the time.
All the time,
all the time. And people were like, "Oh, this is so revolutionary." No, it wasn't. It was old school. And when you see Dan Lanning's defense, I've watched these Georgia highlights over and over and over, trying to see what do you think. I just want to kind of think how are these players going to adapt to this defense? Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, you're like, dude, this would be super fun to watch because last year was so frustrating that the middle was open consistently on third down all the time. I mean, like, I love the Ducks. I'm always positive, but you got to be real, man. Like, they gave up. They were so bad in third down efficiency on defense, and their offense was so good. They were top 5 in the country offensively, and they were just giving it up consistently. They would make great plays on first down. They would make good plays on second down. They give them burn on third. So it's like, what the hell is going on here? And I think this is a defense they're going to really take advantage of. If you're an offensive player, you're gonna have some fun against this defense, because this defense is gonna make you better. I mean, today Ty Thompson got picked. Today they basically showed who was the ones and who was the twos, and Ty was the one. So it's like you're kind of bearing the lead on this one. I mean, for today, that's the big story, man. Ty Thompson fan base is huge. These people are pumped to see that, and Sean Dollar's at one. So from what they could see, and again, this is, this is Zach Neal, dude, one of my favorites, absolute great. Yeah. You got to follow some of these guys that are there every day, that ask these questions every day. They do a great job. You do give Creppy a crap, but he does a good job too. He answers questions that nobody else has to ask. He asks questions that are just super generic, basic. I think he tries a little too hard, maybe sometimes to. Hey, was it a cover 2 or is it a 4? Was it, it's just ask some questions, but and he kind of asked too many, maybe, but he asks questions that everybody else uses his information. It's not like he's not getting information for everybody. So I really like what this coaching staff's doing. The Tosh Lupoy interview fired me up today. I felt like I wanted to hit the weight room. He's a guy that it feels like he just gets it. This whole coaching staff, that's what I really like about these guys, is I feel like they could really gel together. They have some blend of offensive guys, defensive guys who seen different positions, West Coast guys, East Coast guys, South guys. They're just such a blended team. So I'm stoked. If you're a linebacker, why would you not want to come here? You basically have 3 coaches. That's what these linebackers are saying. They have 3 position coaches basically. It's amazing. So cheers, man. It's a great time to be a Duck.
Yeah, man. Shout out Crepia for letting us know that Thompson was the one today, with Nick's running with the 2s. Matt Preem, shout out Matt Preem as well. He said this in a tweet, and I quote him. He said, Ty's series with the 1s ended with a low pass getting tipped at the line by Jackson Powers Johnson and Brian Addison nabbing a sweet interception and returning it for what could have been a touchdown.
Dude,
Knicks led the offense. Nice. Yeah. He said Knicks led the offense down to the field into scoring range. So just something to note there. Ty was running with the 1s, but it's day 1. I mean, it's nothing to go crazy over.
But heard it was the 3rd practice. You heard, or 4th practice or whatever. You heard Lanning today say, or I don't know if it was today or the other day, but he said, Bo's not necessarily, all there. I liked some of the stuff, but some of the stuff with question marks or whatever. I think Ty's got a real shot at this thing. My son is full Ty Thompson team. You got to believe he's young. He's sophomore in high school. He thinks Ty's the truth and the guy. And I think that's fine too. But, I think that you've got a real competition if you've got this guy coming in as a grad transfer. These guys don't transfer unless they're going to play. So I really think at the end of the day, you got to really question if maybe coming off the injury or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think Ty's got a super good shot at this thing. If he can release out of the pocket and get some first downs with his speed, he's so quick, man. Like, his burst is so fast. And if he can really kind of pair that up with some deep balls and some, safe stuff and not get picked. I mean, that Brian Addison pick, I'm so pumped on that. When he moved over to defense, that was so cool, I thought, because he's such a rangy guy. Like, if you're a quarterback, you don't want to throw at that guy. He has all arms, man. He looks like a basketball player.
Yeah.
100%, man. All right, guys. Well, this finishes it up here, man. This has been the Oregon Ducks football spring preview with the linebackers and more with your guy Sports Chat 503, man. Go subscribe to his channel, man. Great guy to have on talking Ducks all the time. Then I got my boy, partner in crime, Jonathan Charles at Jonathan_SD8 on Twitter. Go give him a follow. And of course, go give your boy Duck Zone 503 a follow, man. And continue watching the spring previews. If you guys like this content, give it a thumbs up. And go Ducks.
Go Ducks.